Tom Canty was born in London in the 1530s to a poor family who did not want him.
On the same day, another child was born to a rich family that wanted him very much. That boy was Edward, Prince of Wales, first son of Henry VIII and future King of England.
15 years later, Tom Canty still lived in the narrow, dirty streets of Awful Court. His father and grandmother were drunks who fought with everyone, and then they'd come home to beat Tom.
Father's gonna beat me once he finds out the little amount of money I gathered for today.
Tom, how was your...
Move aside, woman. Thomas, where have you been?
Oh, it was due. I owed the duds.
Shut up, man.
Just getting some money like you asked me to do, sir.
Well, don't just stand there. Show me how much you've gathered. That is all? A whole day's worth, you've only gathered 2 pence?
Beat him to a pulp, son! No, please don't.
Now I'm gonna teach this boy a lesson.
No! Mother, we can't just let him beat him. You know your father will beat us all if we help him.
Oh, I've never been prouder of my son than right now. The way his wife and children respect him is very respectable. And I reckon that by noon tomorrow, Tom will be nothing but a memory.
How can you say something like that?
You know, back in my day, we didn't just beat the children, we ate them too.
You're not going to eat us, Grandma.
That depends. How much did you bring back today?
10 pence, Mom, is that enough?
Oh, you're lucky I'd stayed.
They made Tom beg for them, but he refused to steal. He had learned right from wrong from his neighbor, Father Andrew, an old priest whom cruel Henry VIII had kicked out of the castle years before.
Andrew taught Tom reading and writing. Tom's education set him apart from the rest of his friends, who jokingly treated him as their own prince.
Tom's neighbors began to seek his judgment in their disputes. The wisdom of Tom's decisions always amazed the adults. He was a prince and a hero to everyone but his own family.
Tom didn't mind his life. It was all he knew. He did have one dream, though, just to meet once, a real prince.
And then one day, Tom's wanderings took him to Buckingham Palace. Ignoring the armed guards, Tom ran past the gate and saw the prince.
Mind your manners, beggar.
Guard! How dare you treat the poor boy like that? Open the gates and let him in.
At once, your highness.
You look hungry. Come with me.
The prince took Tom into his room, the grandest room Tom had ever seen.
So what's your name, boy?
Tom Canty, sir.
And where do you live?
In the city, sir, in Awful Court.
Awful Court. It's an odd name. Have you any parents?
Yes, sir. And twin sisters and a grandmother who was not kind to me.
She mistreats you?
Yes, sir.
Beatings?
Yes, sir.
Is your father kind to you?
No more than my grandmother.
I guess fathers are like, mine does not beat me, but he is cruel with his words.
Tell me.
They cause me no harm, sir. They cause me no harm, sir.
They caused me no harm, sir.
What about your sisters?
Well, my sisters, they caused me no harm, sir.
I have 2 sisters myself, Lady Elizabeth and Lady Mary. Tell me, how do your sisters treat their servants?
We have no servants.
What? No servants? Who dresses you when you wake up in the morning?
Sir, we only have one set of clothes.
How odd. But tell me, do you enjoy living in Awful Court?
Yes, sir, when I'm not hungry. The other boys and I swim in the river or wrestle.
Sounds like glorious fun. Would be worth the entire kingdom to enjoy it for just a day.
Sir, it would be worth all I spend just one day dressed in fine clothes like yours.
Say no more, so be it.
The prince removed the royal seal from around his neck and then placed it in its secret hiding place. Then the boys switched clothes.
Tom is going to feel like a whole new person when he puts on the prince's clothes.
He'll be especially glad to get rid of those old rags.
They probably haven't been washed for over a year.
Ew. I can't read. The boys saw each other in the prince's mirror and realized that they could be identical twins.
We look exactly the same. The same hair, the same eyes. You have the same skin as I do. We're the same height. While it's fresh in my mind, I'll go deal with that guard that mistreated you.
The prince ran downstairs in Tom's rags to find the guard.
Guard!
Oh, your bag, you rotten beggar. Here, this is for the trouble you caused me with his highness.
The guard clubbed the prince and threw him out the gate.
I'm the Prince of Wales! You'll hang for touching me!
Oh, with you, you crazy rubbish.
The prince realized his mistake and ran from the castle to escape the guard. He was lost in the city until hours later, a huge hand grabbed him by the shoulder.
What a fine day it is.
Out this late, boy, I brought a single penny home. If I don't break every bone in your body, I'm not John Canty.
Fantastic! Are you his father? Great, my good man. So you'll take me back to the palace, we'll fetch your boy, and my father will make you rich beyond your wildest dreams.
Stark raving mad, boy, but I'll beat some sense into you.
Wait, what?
Back at the castle, everyone thought the prince had lost his mind, or at least his memory. He didn't know his lessons, his servants, or his duties. Eventually, King Henry VIII called the prince before him.
My child, do you recognize me?
Sire, you are my king. I am a helpless pauper, and I pray you'll believe me when I tell you this, that I'm only here by accident. I'm too young to die. Please, sire, spare my life.
You'll not die, my prince.
Bless you, sire. Bless you, sire.
Hertford! The prince is ill. He has been studying too much. Let him rest and rebuild his health. But let all who live in the castle know, be he mad or sane, Prince Edward will rule after my death. Hertford, help the prince remember his life here.
As you wish, sire.
Oh, and Hertford, the Duke of Norfolk waits in the Tower of London. Tomorrow, we will hang him. See that the papers are prepared.
If I may ask, what crime is Norfolk guilty?
Treason! He tried to adopt my coat of arms.
Later that day, the prince's sister, Lady Elizabeth, and his cousin, Lady Jane, came to visit Tom.
During your illness, you must never deny that you're the Prince of Wales.
I'll remember. Please, sir, sit down.
No, you may have forgotten. No one may sit in your presence.
Lay down again.
Are you feeling all right, Your Majesty?
Please, Your Majesty, don't bow down to us.
Please don't kill me. I'm only this way because I am not the prince. My name is Tom, not Edward. Edward's outside the palace gates, and I think everyone mistook me as him. We look exactly the same and talk the same and hold ourselves the same way, but I'm not the real prince.
Excuse me? You're telling us you're not the real prince? He's gone mad. We're fallen ill. I guess rumors were true. We better fetch the doctor.
Please stop your jesting, Your Majesty. You're worrying us.
No. I'm not telling lies. I'm but a simple pauper. I'm not mad either. I am perfectly sane. We swapped our garments and look exactly the same. He went to go punish the guard that harmed me and then just disappeared.
One moment, please, Your Majesty.
Either he's quite mad, or maybe his story is true. But how could someone so insane concoct such an absurd story? Maybe he truly is a pauper and Edward is roaming the streets of London.
Maybe, but his story just isn't likely to have two boys run into each other that look exactly the same. And if they look so similar, wouldn't have the guard noticed?
Does this not sound mad to your ears? Do you truly believe what you're saying? Please, Your Majesty, jesting too much is very bad for your fragile state of mind.
Do you not appreciate my jokes? You should have seen both of your faces.
Right.
After Lady Jane and Lady Elizabeth left Tom, they were convinced he was ill. King Henry called Hertford to him.
Norfolk's hanging.
Oh, my lord, you loaned the seal to Prince Edward yesterday.
Well then, fetch it from the prince.
He claims not to know what it is.
Hertford, will the boy ever get well? Postpone Norfolk's hanging till I have my royal seal.
If Tom was confused in the palace, the real prince was probably just as confused experiencing the London lowlife.
Meanwhile, John Canty dragged the real prince to his house.
I told you! I'm the Prince of Wales! I do not know any of you!
Look at me, boy. Are you telling me you don't recognize this face?
I think I'd remember that face.
Do you not recognize even your own mother?
I told you, I do not know any of you.
What a show this is. Nan, bad manners have you none. Sitting in the presence of the Prince of Wales. Get up!
Tom is not himself. He is worn out himself. I'm sure he'll be well enough tomorrow to beg with great energy.
I'm not a pauper. I will not beg.
Canty hit the prince and threw him to the floor.
You'll beg tomorrow if you ever want to walk again, boy.
Are you serious? That right there was the best threat you came up with? Oh, you disgrace.
Well, all of you, off to bed. Tom, what are you waiting for?
Where's my bed?
In the corner on the floor.
Later that night, one of Canty's neighbors knocked on his door to tell him that the person he had knocked out last night, who tried to free Edward from his evil grasp, was actually dead and was the neighborhood priest, Father Andrew.
Do you know who the man that was you knocked out last night?
No, and I don't care.
It was old Father Andrew and his tide of his wand. The royal guard are on their way.
Oh no, everyone, get up! Everyone, we must run away, quickly, everyone up! Tom, get up!
Where's
if we
my
get separated, meet at the London Bridge.
Of course, you're not expecting me to run all the way to London Bridge, right? Oh, no. You expect me to run to... You expect me to run to London Bridge? Oh, and here I thought I'd raise the gentleman. Oh, what a disgrace.
As everyone ran out, the prince fled into the city. Soon, he met a pack of thieves on a dark street. The thieves attacked him, but he fought back.
So this is London Bridge. Nice. I am Edward, Prince of Wales, and even though I'm alone and friendless, I will stand my ground.
Suddenly, a tall, muscular man appeared. He was dressed in fine but faded clothing and carried a sword.
I don't know if you're a prince, but you're a brave boy, not friendless as long as Miles Hendon is around.
Miles scared off the thieves and led the prince to safety.
Meanwhile, back at the castle, Hereford had important news for Tom that would not only affect Tom's life, but all of England itself.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Hertford, find to be king, and I make a command. Will it be obeyed?
Yes, your word is law.
Then go to the Tower of London and say that the Duke of Norfolk shall not die.
Long live Edward, King of England.
As the prince walked with Miles past London Bridge, someone grabbed him.
I feel so safe now that Sir Miles is here.
You won't escape me again, boy.
What is this boy to you, brute?
This is my son, and he's coming with me.
Boy, whether this scurry fellow is your father or not, I'll see that he doesn't touch you if you'd rather stay with me.
I don't know who this man is, and I'd die before I go with him.
Then it's settled. This boy is under my protection now, so be on your way.
Canty grumbled and walked away. Hendon decided to play along with the boy's story about being the prince and now the king. He took him back to his rented room for dinner.
How dare you sit in my presence?
My apologies, sire.
Your king forgives you, noble fellow. Now please, tell me your story.
My mother died when I was a boy. My father is a rich and generous man. I have two brothers, my older brother Arthur, who is kind, and my younger brother Hugh, who is vicious and greedy. I haven't seen them in 10 years since I left home to become a soldier. 7 years ago, I was captured in battle, and until days ago, I spent all those years locked away in a French prison.
So now that you've returned, does the lady wait for you at Hendon Hall?
No, your majesty. The love of my life, Lady Edith, was engaged to Arthur when she was a little girl. Arthur loved someone else, but my father wouldn't let him out of the engagement. Hugh also claimed to love Lady Edith, but I think he loved only her family's wealth.
You have suffered much. I will return you to Hendon Hall to reunite you with your family. In the meantime, you have served me well, and as a reward, name your request.
It might sound odd, sire, but I request that I and my descendants might forever be allowed to sit in the king's presence.
Your request is granted. Now kneel. Along with this, you are now Sir Miles, Royal Knight, servant of the king. Now please, sit down.
Later in the evening, Edward was tricked to leave Miles's house by a deceitful servant. Edward managed to escape from the servant's grasp, but found himself lost in the woods.
Tom, who'd soon be crowned king, was finally getting comfortable in the castle, but hundreds of servants still confused him, especially one.
You say you're my whipping boy?
Yes, sire. Humphrey Marlowe at your service.
As you know, Humphrey, I have a problem with my memory. Please tell me how you served me.
Well, when you failed your Greek lessons, your teacher with me. And you did fail your last test 2 days ago.
Wait, so you're with for my failings?
Always, sire. Will the whipping take place today?
No, no one shall whip you today.
Thank you, sire. But there's one other thing.
Yes?
Now that you be king, perhaps you give up your studies. Then you never fail any more tests. And I'll be out of job, sir. For my back is my livelihood.
Don't worry, Humphrey. I declare you the hereditary grand whipping boy to the royal house of England. You and your children will always have a job here.
Thank you, sire. You made me so happy.
You're welcome, Humphrey. Now you may help me as well. You know my life here in the castle as well as anyone. Let me test you on some memories I've lost in my illness.
Tom spent many hours with Humphrey. Later that day, he impressed Hereford with his returned memory.
I'm so glad to see you well again, my lord. Do you now remember where you put the royal seal?
What does the seal look like?
Alas, you have lost your wits again. But in 4 days you'll be crowned king, and then all will be well.
Away from the grasp of John Canty, the prince found himself aimlessly wandering through the countryside.
Night was coming on, and the prince, chilled to the bone, sought refuge in an old barn, where he found warmth beside a little calf.
Oh my, Amelia, look, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Indeed. It seems the beggar slept in our barn last night. How strange. He has a comely face and nice hair, but he is dressed as a beggar. And just look at how starved he looks.
Let us go and confront him.
Who art thou?
I assume you wouldn't believe me if I said it was the king?
The king?
What king?
Why, the king of England, of course.
He says he's the king of England. Should we believe him?
I'm not sure, but why would he lie to us?
If you say that you are the king of England, then I believe thee.
Thou lookest to be half starved.
And if that may be, you must dine with us, your majesty. We insist.
Indeed, I shall grant thee a blessing to sit in my presence.
Good afternoon, mother.
We brought news. This lad fared himself as the king of England. Oh, really?
Yeah, we found him in the barn by our calf decaf.
What's thy name, or shall we dub thee king?
I'm the king, Edward.
We have every right to believe him, too.
Because he was in the barn, and decaf never lied.
Oh, you girls just can't believe everything you hear.
I respect that, fair maiden.
Nevertheless, I've just butchered our finest pig. Now we will dine on bacon, like kings.
My life keeps getting better.
Already a king.
Mine, too.
Let's prepare breakfast. This child can't be serious. No matter, I will get to the bottom of his conniving scheme.
My, that does smell rather pleasant.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm sure it was.
Sit down, boy. Grab the utensils, Avelia.
I'll grab His Majesty the biggest spoon we've got.
That would be the ladle.
Mother, we will say grace.
Oh, go on then. Don't mind waiting for me. I mean, a king, we should not even sit down in his presence.
Edward, would you like to say grace?
Grace.
Oh, thou art charming indeed.
I'm sorry, she just meant would you like to bless the food?
Bless the food? Me? A king? These peasants are hardly worthy of being in my presence. But I guess my great-uncle, Alfred the Great, also once dined with commoners.
Whatever.
It was beautiful.
So, Edward, what do you do for a living?
I'm the king. Nevertheless, no one believes me. Yet you do.
So what do you usually do with your kingly duties?
You know, make laws, deal with peasants, behead criminals, you know, the regular stuff.
Sounds fun.
Sounds like a lot of responsibility, Amelia.
Responsibility is fun.
It was until Genius Me decided to character swap with that boy Tom.
Tom?
He looks identical to me. It was a master plan until we didn't get that far where we know how to switch back.
I knew you were a king.
And I believe thee too, Your Highness. I believed it since I first laid eyes on you by decaf.
I guess commoners aren't that bad.
That night, Edward decided to move on, looking for someone who would actually believe he was the king. After many hours of searching, he ran into Miles and set off to Hendon Hall.
Meanwhile, Miles Hendon and the real prince drew near to Hendon Hall.
Wow, just imagine being away from your home, without your family for 10 years. Miles must be very excited.
Imagine the welcome he'll get. Maybe they'll have a feast to celebrate.
now. Welcome to Hendon Hall, my king. I am finally home.
So this is Hendon Hall.
As they reached the gate, Miles saw his brother Hugh.
Hugh, I return. Call our father to the gate, for I will not feel at home until I see his face again.
Stranger, you seem to be out of your wits. Who do you imagine yourself to be?
You don't recognize your own brother?
Miles? You must be joking. I got a letter 7 years ago telling me my brother had died in battle.
That's a lie. Call father. Call Arthur. Surely they'll recognize me.
I cannot bring the dead to life.
They're both dead. I can't believe it. Lady Edith still lives, I pray?
She lives.
Well then, please bring her to me. She will certainly recognize me.
Hugh went to go find Lady Edith.
How can he call me an imposter? I'm his own brother.
I do not doubt you, Sir Miles. But you still doubt that I'm your king, do you not?
That's what I...
Edith, my darling!
Lady Edith, do you know this man?
I do not know him.
Stranger, it seems you've been lying. My betrothed does not know who you are.
Now I understand. After Father and Arthur died, you wrote the letter claiming I was dead to steal Edith and Hendon Hall from me.
I will give you one more chance. Leave or my guards will throw you in the dungeon.
Look at me and tell me that I'm not a stranger. Are these not the same eyes, the same face you gazed upon from your childhood, and not those of a madman?
Listen to me, Olaf. I am a prisoner in these gilded false enchantments, found by the lies and deceit of a cruel man, my betrothed. Alas, thou canst help me. I take thee to be a good man. Take the money and be gone, please, before they lose of thy life to foolishness.
Then let's run away and be together forever. Nothing shall separate us, not even Hugh.
Imposter! Imposter! Guard! Guard!
Stand back, Sir Miles. I got this.
And you! Me and Edith will be present at the king's coronation while you rot in the dungeon. Throw him and this worthless beggar boy in the dungeon.
To torture Miles, Hugh sent everyone in town who once knew him to his cell. Each said that Miles was an imposter. One night, Edith visited him with a warning.
Stranger, I know you believe you are Miles Hendon, but my husband is master of this town, and if he says you are a mad imposter, then you are.
So, you believe me, Edith?
No, I do not know you. But even if you were the real Miles Hendon, you'd be a threat to all that Hugh has, would be in the same peril that you are in now.
One afternoon, the prison officers brought in Blake Andrews, an old man who was once Miles' servant.
Anyone in this stuff, old man?
No, all I see is street scum. Which one claims he's Sir Miles Hendon?
This big animal here.
This is not Sir Miles.
Of course not. Why don't you give him a piece of your mind? All the others do.
Blake approached Hendon and, between insults, whispered to him what he was really thinking.
You're the scum of the earth! If you're truly Sir Miles, just tell me and I'll shout in the streets that you've returned.
Don't put yourself in danger.
You should be hanged!
I wish you were out of the cell. Hugh tortures Lady Edith and all the servants.
Old man, we haven't heard news from London in a long time. Tell me, has the new king been crowned yet?
You worthless beggar boy! You don't even deserve death! Rumors has it that Edward will be crowned a day from now, and rumors are that he's gone mad.
Mad?
Yes, but he gets more wise and humane every day. His first act was to spare the Duke of Norfolk, and now he plans to abolish all his father's cruelest laws and punishments.
How has that beggar boy fooled all the men in the palace? I learned how to rule so wisely.
Suddenly, the prison officers grabbed Miles and the prince.
Looks like you two are gonna see daylight. Sir Hugh wants to put you imposters in the stocks so everybody can take a look at a liar.
Miles was led to the town square and his arms locked in the wooden frame of the stocks. The handcuffed prince looked on helplessly.
Sir Miles is a servant of the king. I demand you set him free.
Officer, teach this fool a whip. Give this fool a whipping to teach him to watch his tongue.
No, let the boy go. I'll take his whipping.
Very well.
As the officers whipped Miles, the crowd grew quiet, suspecting a man who would take a whipping to spare an insane boy. Hugh, realizing the people were starting to turn against him, ordered the whipping to be stopped.
Stop. Stranger, you are free to leave. I will return your horse and sword to you. But if I ever see you in Hendon Hall again, I'll have you hung.
Sir Miles, you have saved your king from public shame. Because of this, your king now promotes you to Earl.
Miles was touched and began to believe that the boy actually was the king.
Your Majesty, to where shall we ride?
To London, to reclaim my crown.
As Miles and the prince raced to London, Tom rode in a royal parade. Thousands of people filled the streets to see their new king.
All these people have come to see me?
Yes, you are their king and you're performing marvelously well today.
Suddenly, a ragged woman ran up to Tom.
Tom, my son, I know it is you. It was not you at our house the other night. Please, my son, come back.
I do not know you, woman.
Guards, have this woman taken away. She offends the king.
Mrs. Canty was pushed back into the crowd, and Tom suddenly felt very homesick.
My lord, don't let that crazy pauper woman disturb your great day.
She was my mother.
After a day-long celebration, Tom returned to the castle. There, Hertford waited to place the crown on the future King of England, Edward VI. As Hertford raised the crown over Tom's head, another boy dressed in rags and an older man followed him, raced in.
I forbid you to set the crown of England upon that head. I am the true king.
He is the king.
Oh my, he's gone mad again. This is too much. Oh, Jane, you fainted!
I am not the rightful king. I'm just a pauper. Edward's the true king.
My lord, that is not true. Let the guards take these beggars away.
No, I order you not to touch them.
Hertford suddenly realized that the two boys were identical. He realized that he had to find a way to prove which one was the real king.
There's only one question that the true Edward VI can answer. Where is the royal seal of England?
Lord Hertford, I put the royal seal in the golden vase that lies in the table in my room.
The beggar knows my name?
Go get it.
You heard the king's command, go!
Hertford ran off and soon returned with the royal seal.
Long live the true King of England.
Now, my king, take these clothes back and give for Tom, your servant, his shredded rags again.
And guards, have this boy put to death for impersonating the king.
No, this boy is innocent of any wrongdoing, and I will not punish him. I've learned so much since I left the castle. All kings should walk as paupers for a few days to see how their laws affect their people. I've learned so much mercy.
In all the confusion, Miles Hendon sat down next to Edward.
Stand up, you mannerless clown. You sit in the presence of your king.
Do not disturb him. It is Sir Miles' right to sit in the presence of his king. Lord Hertford, send the guards to fetch Hugh Hendon and Lady Edith. That was a terrible idea we had, switching.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
What is this? I am a loyal subject of His Majesty.
Hugh Hendon, thou hast deceived thy father and mother and thy eldest brother. Because of this, your status and the estate will be taken away and you'll be executed.
Your Majesty, please spare his life.
Let it be so. Sir Miles, you now have the entire Hendon status, and Lady Edith is no longer Hugh's betrothed.
May a lingering curse be upon you and Lady Edith for the rest of your days.
Guards, take him away to the dungeons, as he had done to us before. May he be sustained by bread and water for all of his days.
Your Majesty, thank you for sparing my brother's life and for your mercy.
You're welcome.
Oh, my dearest Miles, my one true love. I always knew you would come back for me and rescue me from my captivity and distress, suffered at the hands of thy cruel brother. Aww.
Edith, every day after I left Hendon Hall, I thought of you, day and night. My brother has treated you unfairly, but I will never leave you. You are like a sparkling jewel in the sunlight. Come back with me to Hendon Hall so that we can start a new life together.
Of course, Miles.
Soon after, Miles and Edith married and lived happily in the Hendon estate. King Edward knighted Tom Canty and put him in charge of King's Hospital. With his mother and sisters, Tom watched over all the poor and sick street children of London. John Canty was never seen again. Edward VI died young after a short merciful reign. His advisors often protested his lenient sentences of poor beggars and thieves. They said the guilty did not suffer enough, but Edward always answered the same way.
What do you know about suffering? And my people know, yet you do not.